global news update on top accolade news. In the world where borders blur, identity involved, and every choice echoes across divides. Tonight's headlines remind us, progress demands sacrifice, but what cost to the human spirit? From tightened rules to belonging, to triumph over turmoil, here's what you need to know. Labour tightened rules on migrants seeking permanent UK residency. Pro-EU party wins majority in Moldova. Swiss voters narrowly approve electronic ID cards in divisive referendum. Oregon sued to block Trump's troop deployment to Portland. Starting in the UK, where Labour is rewriting the rules of residency. Migrants in the UK will need to prove strong English skills, a clean record, and community service to secure indefinite leave to remain, Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood will announce at Labour's conference as the government doubles the qualifying period from 5 to 10 years to counter Reform UK's call to scrap permanent settlements. The policy signals Labour's harder line on integration, but critics warn it risks weaponizing contribution tests against vulnerable migrants. The path to becoming is being turned into an endurance trial. Shifting gears to Eastern Europe, where democracy hangs in the balance. Moldova's pro-European Party of Action and Solidarity secured 50.1% of the vote and a clear parliamentary majority in Sunday's election, defeating Russia-aligned blocs despite bomb threats, cyber attacks, and alleged vote-buying schemes. President Maia Sandu hailed the result as proof Moldovans choose Europe over Moscow's influence, while opposition leader Igor Dodon rallied support to dispute the outcome. With police detaining suspects accused of plotting unrest, authorities said attempts to destabilize the vote were unprecedented. In Moldova's fragile democracy, the ballot box has become the front line of a geopolitical tug-of-war. From geopolitical battles to digital frontiers, Switzerland takes a cautious step towards modernity with a vote that splits the nation almost perfectly into two. Swiss voters have approved plans for a state-issued electronic ID card by a razor-thin margin of 50.4% to 49.6%, overturning a 2021 rejection that has fueled by privacy and corporate involvement concerns. The new scheme, free and optional, will allow citizens to prove their identity online or in person for services like banking, age verification, and government access. Supporters says the move brings Switzerland in line with European neighbors, pushing digital wallets, while critics fear creeping surveillance and exclusion of those without smartphones. In the digital age, this result shows that trust in technology can hinge on margins as narrow as a single percentage point. Crossing the Atlantic, tensions escalate as states push back against federal outreach. Oregon and Portland officials filed suit on Sunday to stop President Donald Trump's order sending National Guard troops into the city, accusing him of abusing presidential power to normalize military views in domestic law enforcement. Trump argues the move is needed to curb crime and protest linked to his mass deportation drive. But state leaders says demonstrations have been peaceful and small, with no arrests since mid-June. Governor Tina Kotek condemned the deployment as baseless, while Mayor Keith Wilson called it un-American. The clash echoes Trump's first term, when troop deployment fueled unrest in Portland. Sometimes the line between security and suppression is drawn not in the streets, but in the Constitution itself. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Back in the UK, Labour unveils a bold pledge for the next generation. Chancellor Rachel Reeves will pledge to abolish long-term youth unemployment at Labour's annual conference in Liverpool, confirming that young people on universal credit for 18 months without earning or learning will be guaranteed paid work, with sanctions for those who refuse without cause. The scheme, overseen by Work and Pension Secretary Pat McFadden, is framed as a youth guarantee rooted in Labour's vision of contribution and fair reward. Critics argue Reeve's policy undermined hiring and business confidence. In Reeve's words, Britain's real wealth lies not in the privileged, but few, in unlocking the potential of all. Yet, the true test is where the promise translates into paychecks. Tragedy strikes closer to the heart in a Michigan sanctuary-turned slaughterhouse. A former U.S. Marine, Thomas Jacob Sanford, rammed his vehicle into a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan, opened fire with an assault rifle, and set the building ablaze on Sunday, killing at least 4 people and injuring 8 before police fatally shot him. Hundreds were inside when the attack began, and investigators says explosive and accelerant were found at the scene, with the FBI calling it an act of targeted violence. The massacre, one of 3 mass shootings in 24 hours, underscores America's grim reality. Places of worship meant for sanctuary are increasingly becoming battlefields. On a bright note, culture takes center stage as Latin rhythms hit the big game. Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny will headline next year's Super Bowl halftime show at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, marking a historic moment for Latin music. The 31-year-old Spotify's most streamed artist in 3 of the last 5 years and a multi-Grammy winner called the performance a tribute to my people, my culture, and our history. His confirmation follows a world tour that avoided the US over concerns of ICE raid on fans, with singer instead drawing more than 500,000 attendees to a Puerto Rico residency. From dominating the Latin Grammys, Bad Bunny's rise has been unstoppable. His halftime stage won't just be a performance, it will be a cultural touchdown. Wrapping up with the thrill of the pitch, where persistence pays off in the Premier League. Arsenal snatched a 2-1 victory at St James Park after a late equalizer and Gabriel's stoppage time header turned the game around, closing the gap on the leaders Liverpool to 2 points while leaving Newcastle in 15th. Amid VAR controversy and wasted chances, Arsenal's persistence paid off, proving that in football, pressure always finds its breakthrough. As we sign off, remember, in these stories of struggle and strife, our shared humanity isn't defined by headlines, but by how we rise to meet them. This is your world unfiltered. Stay informed, stay engaged. For Top Accolade News, I am Ojorumi Okoja. Do have a wonderful day and keep watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News.